Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the very first V Let's Play. Today we will be playing and reviewing Path of the Exile. Now, this game has been receiving a lot of hype over the last 6 months. For those of you that have not heard of Path of the Exile, it is a action role-playing dungeon crawler style game similar to that of Diablo 3 or Torchlight. Now, one of the reasons that it is being hyped is because it is said to be more similar to Diablo 2 than Diablo 3 itself is, and that it is the sequel that Diablo 2 should have actually gotten. Now, we will be playing through the game and we will be taking a look at all the pros and cons and telling you whether this is true or not. Now, as you can see, we are already in the game and we are ready to create our character. There are 6 available choices. Now, as any other game of this genre, they range between brute melee style champions or casters. As you can see here, the first one is the Templar. Now, the Templar is a sort of religious character that can use staffs, melee spells. The combat isn't particularly based around each particular class, but we'll get into that more later. The next class you can choose is the Shadow, which most people will see as a roguelike character. The Marauder is, of course, the brute melee we were talking about. Ranger is the next available class. The Duelist is the other, and finally the Witch, which is of course the mage-style caster. Now, for this game, we will actually be playing the Templar, and we will go ahead and select him and give ourselves a name. Now, the Templar, the story behind this game, basically each of these characters are on a boat and they have basically been exiled for whatever particular reason, whether it's crime or some religious reason, but they have been exiled to this land known as Rayclast. There isn't much else known about the land or the story, but as we work our way through the game we will probably find out more. Now, as you can see, we start off on the beach here. Our ship has been wrecked and we have washed ashore of Rayclast. Now, I won't actually go through all the quest dialogue. If you play the game yourself, you can of course read through it. And now, as you can see, the little hint has popped up. To see items on the ground that drop mobs, you have to hold Alt. At the start, if you're not used to it, you will forget to press it and maybe miss out on some loot. It does take a little getting used to. So let's talk about the combat. Now, the combat is somewhat similar to most other action RPG styled dungeon crawlers. You have the left mouse button, which is the... Whoops, I did not mean to do that. You can see here on the left we have the health. We also have potions for health and for mana, which is something that's a little different in this game. As you use them, they don't deplete completely, but bit by bit. But as you kill mobs, they refill back up. Of course, as you work your way through the game, you will get medium-sized flasks, large-sized flasks, etc, etc. But for now, you start off with 2 health potions and 1 mana potion, and they are mapped to the key bindings of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's make our way forward. As you can see, the abilities we were talking about. The left mouse button is your standard attack. You have the middle mouse button, which we don't have an ability with, and of course the right mouse button, the ability which we will talk about a little later, and then of course the standard Q, W, E, R and T. Now we will. There is no particular story at the start of the game. It is basically just fight your way through the mobs to the town to get yourself used to the potions and abilities and such. Now, graphically, the game is. Some people have been dissing it a little bit. Others have been loving it. Diablo 3 went more for the little bit more colorful look, whereas this is it's a very dark, very grayscale style, and personally it is something that I actually prefer. As in Diablo 2, it was a little bit more darker, a little bit more sinister, and that is why some people like it. But for me, I personally like the sort of post-apocalyptic, ruined, dark scenery. So it's quite nice for me. Now we've just leveled up. Once we actually get out of combat, we will talk a little bit more about that, because as you've seen on the bottom of the screen, we had the little skill point pop up, and something is attacking me. Where are you, son of a bitch? There you are. Die. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the skills. If you have played Final Fantasy before, this may look quite similar to something you may have seen before. It is a huge, and I mean huge, skill tree. There's over 100. I don't even know how many skills there is. Now, as you see, each class has its own starting sort of area. As a Templar, as you can see, start off in this little area here, and there are different routes that we can actually take. You can go this way, which is the sort of mana regeneration, or you can go this way, which is melee damage. You are not bound by a particular path you need to take. You can go any direction you want to go. You can go to shield, staff, you can precision. For us, we will probably go a more melee, two-hand, strength, dexterity, precision style thing. So we'll go ahead and take the melee damage thing. As we go through the game and unlock more skill points, we will talk more about it. But as I said, for now, we will make our way through the strength and dexterity part of the skill tree. As you can see here, there's just so much to actually work your way through. There's something like 100 levels in the game. As you can see here, this is where all the classes actually start. You can work your way into the tree from your own if you want. There's nothing to stop you. But there, as I said, there are something like 100 levels in the game, so you will make your way through quite a part of the tree. I don't know if it's possible to actually unlock all of it, but as we play through, we will find out. But anyway, let's move along. Nothing to kill. Where are you, zombies? There you are. Die. The combat in the game at the start is quite slow. It may actually put some people off. From what I'm aware, it will pick up as the game moves along. So if you feel that it's a little slow, a little laggy, stick with it. It will change, but as we move through the game, we will actually see that ourselves. So this is the options. As you can see here, you have the inventory. Here. Now let's talk about these gems. The gems are actually an important part of the game. You do not have particular spells that you learn. You will unlock them with these gems. Now, as you can see here, this gem is for the right mouse button, which we actually have been using. The gems come in 3 different colors, which are red, green and blue. This particular one is red, and of course it must be socketed to a red socket. Now these sockets can actually appear on weapons, armor, rings, boots, helm, whichever. the item actually has slots on, so of course you have to put the gem in the corresponding colored slot. So we'll go ahead and put the gem back in, and as you can see, the ability reappeared on the right mouse button. This particular one is a ice. As you see, that barrel took so much damage. The Ice Blast basically has a chance to cause it of course does a heavier, has a heavier hit, and it also has the chance to freeze the target, and oh shit, it's a boss. It's okay, so because the combat's a little slower at the start, you need to be careful that you don't get surrounded by too many mobs, or mobs with a fast attack speed or high attack damage, because it is a possibility that you will die, and the health potions will not be enough to keep you alive. Fortunately though, this guy is a little easier, so that is the quest complete, and we got some items to pick up. You'll notice that some of the items will automatically equip to your character. Other items do need identified, which we will talk about when we get into town. So in we go. And move our way around here. Now this game is actually going to be free to play. Not a lot of people know that. It is developed by a company from New Zealand, and the microtransactions will not be a buy to win. It will be cosmetic only. Now let's talk about the gems. The gems can also level up. Now as you see, we have our own experience bar at the bottom for the champion, but the gems themselves will level up, and when they do, you will get a little option on the right hand side of the screen to level up the gem. Now as you can see, well, you can't actually see there, as you can see, it says 1 of 308 at the bottom. It is level 2 now, and that is the experience that we need to get the ability to the next level. Now of course you do need to have the gem equipped for it to gain experience and level. It will not do so if it is in the bag. Now here is an unidentified item that we were talking about. During the game there is no currency, no gold or whichever. You will get orbs and also scrolls. The Scroll of Wisdom is the item that you will use for identifying items. So we will go ahead and right click and identify the item. If you have played Diablo or Torchlight or such, you will understand how this works. It's relatively simple. You just use it to, you right click and left click on the item, and there we go. The statistics have been uncovered and we can go ahead and equip that item. As you can see, we also have gem slots on the gloves and boots. They are however green and green red. We do not actually have any gems for that at the moment, but we will talk more about them when we get them. So let's go ahead and identify that item. We can't use this because we do not have the 20 dexterity, so we will just go ahead and sell those items. As you can see, there's a little quest givers here. We'll just skip those so you can read them yourself, and let's sell. Now as I said, there is no currency in the game. When you do sell them, you will get the fragments for orbs and scrolls. As you can see in the top part, this is the currency you will get. The scroll of fragments is 3 of 5. When you have 5, it will combine into a complete scroll of wisdom. The alteration shard will, once you get 20, turn into an orb of alteration. There are multiple different kinds of orbs, but we will talk about them more when we unlock them later. So let's pick up some quests. Skip all the talk. Now if you want to learn more about the lore, each NPC will have some information that you can click on to read more about a particular person or a place and such, but as I said, we will leave that for you to discover as you move your way along the game. Now let's talk a little bit more about the options as well. We also forgot, on the right hand side of the health orb is a blue line. That is the shield. You will take damage to the shield first before health. Now, this map we will come back to talk about shortly. As you see here, you have the character panel, which gives you your statistics. You have the social window, which has your friends, create a party, and public parties, which we will not use until later. You have the skill panel, which is the hotkey P, and you have the open world panel. Now, this is quite nice. This is half a map, half a quest journal, so to speak. As you can see here, the quests are little icons, and when you click on them it shows where on the map you need to go, as well as a little bit of information regarding what you need to do. And now you also have the map legend, which shows you which indicator is currently on screen. Now, when you press the tab key, you have the map. Now, the map, as you can see, it's not exactly the most visible map. Even, you know, if you zoom in, it doesn't change. It can be quite hard to read, especially if you stand in areas that there's light showing. You really cannot see at all. Of course, you can go to the options, to UI, and change the map transparency. Although it does stand out a little bit more, it's still not quite that useful. This is probably the first downside to the game that we've actually come across. Because it still is in beta, hopefully they will change it a little bit for release, or even soon in the beta, so it stands out a little bit more. It's usable, not quite the best we've ever seen. But anyway, we'll move along. Pick up. Now, this is the rewards you get. As I said, there is no currency or anything, but you do get gems, which are the spells. Now you have Ground Slam, and you have an Ice Nova, and you also have the Spark. Now, because we're going to be a melee style class, we are going to take the Ice Nova, as a lot of mobs will be in and around me in combat. You have to make sure that you do have the socket for that. Now, we do have a blue socket, so we will go ahead and equip that into our weapon. There we go. And as you can see, it appeared to the middle mouse button. Of course, that wasn't the right button. Of course, if you equip it into other slots, now we don't actually have one to put the blue in, but if you equip it into other slots, it will appear in the Q, W, E, R, and T hotkeys. But for now, we will keep it in the middle mouse button. Now, as you can see, the quest journal here, when you complete a quest, it grays out, and it also says complete on it if you click it, so that you can tell the difference between which quest is still active and which isn't. The active quests, of course, are not grayed out. They're still got a little colorful icon, and divided by this little marker in between, I guess you would call it. So we will move on to the next quest. As you can see, when we click on it, it shows us where to go. So we will leave the town to the Terraces.
My nightmares, they were prophecy.
Okay, so yes, prophecy, move along, little guy. And here we go, back into the combat. Now, as you can see, that is our Ice Nova ability. Of course, you don't want to spam your abilities too much, because you will run out of mana at some point. As we were saying, of course, when you do kill mobs, the mana and potions will start to fill back up as they deplete bit by bit when you use them. And of course, remember that when you are in combat to press the Alt key so that you don't forget to pick up items, because along the way there will be chests and barrels, and sometimes they can be hard to see if you don't recognize them. Within time you probably will start to. Portal Scroll, this is another item that we can actually talk about. Get some more items, nothing in the chest. So the Portal Scroll is exactly what it is. It is a scroll that portals you back to town. Now, when you use it, it will take you to town and leave a portal where you left, and of course one in town, so that you can come straight back to where you left off. Of course, if you spend too much time in the town, the portal will disappear and you will have to walk all the way back here on foot. As you can see there, the mob just exploded because when you use the ice ability and you freeze them, it gives a chance to freeze, and ooh, had a little freeze there. And of course they will shatter into pieces. Some guys throwing rocks at me. Do not throw rocks at me. That is not nice. Let's kill him. Of course, at the start, your statistics aren't that great, so you are going to miss some hits and such, so you need to be careful, make sure your health stays topped up. And there we go, shattered zombie. Any items, anything in the chest, another scroll of wisdom, another wand. Okay, let's move along. That's not the right way. Let's go back this way. Not in that way, so let's move our way over this way. And of course there are corpses as well to loot along the way, sometimes hold items. As you can see, the combat is quite slow. As we said earlier, don't be put off by that. It will change eventually when you get more statistics like attack speed and damage and such, as well as more spells. So don't let it put you off about how slow it actually is to start. Let's move our way along here.
Thus answered.
And there we go, level 3. Once we actually get out of combat, we will at our rune page, or skill page again, not rune page. And some douchebag is throwing rocks again. And as you can see, the gem leveled up. That would be our ice Nova thing. And once again, on the right hand side of the screen, there is the level up indicator. Another thing to talk about is the AoE that you see on the ground. When you are fighting mobs, some of them tend to do fire AoE or maybe a poison, and it's something you need to be careful of because this game will be, it won't play nice sometimes. You will take a lot of damage if you stay standing in AoE, and so you need to be careful of that. And there's another gem we can pick up, which is another ability. Let's get all these items, and once we get time to do so, we will look at it. So this is a dual strike. It attacks with both weapons. It is a green gem. Now we do have the socket to put that in. The problem is we do not have a second weapon at the moment, but we will go ahead and equip it because it should still start getting experience. As you can see, that is now equipped to the Q hotkey. Hopefully it will still get experience, even though we don't have a second weapon. Now, as you can see, we have... Oh, come on guys, leave me alone. Okay, so as you can see, we have once again 2 branches of the skill tree that we can move along. We can go the melee damage way or the strength way, and now we will go the melee damage way and work our way round again to another guy. Come on, stop attacking me. Where are you coming from? Anyway, so as I said, we will take these strength ones eventually, but we will work our way around the melee damage direction first and then back around. So oh, we have a little sort of mini boss slash rare. As you can see, when we walk through the fire, you get a sort of fire dot, which does quite a bit of damage. This is, oh shit, this is the kind of thing we were talking about, that if you get surrounded a little bit, you will take a lot of damage, and the health potions may not be enough to keep you alive, so you need to be very careful. Our health potions are getting quite low. This may turn out badly. Oh shit, we're empty. So we'll run away like a coward a little bit and take this guy out. Hopefully that will give us Oh, there we go, a little health, and let's finish this guy off. So as you can see, as well as the fire that rains down from above, the airway on the ground can be quite dangerous.
I am no beast of
So you
burden.
need to be very careful in that. And there we go. That's an item we can actually use. I am no beast of burden. Yes, we get the point. Okay, so as you can see, we have this to level up again. We'll go ahead and level that up. Now we do have an item we can use. We need to use the, as you can see, it is red, so we need to use a Scroll of Wisdom to unlock, or identify, I should say, and equip. And now we can use our Q ability. So there we go. Scroll. Okay. There we go. That should help with the damage a little bit. Now, where are we going? I'm gonna guess we need to go more southwest, but we'll check up here first. No, it definitely looks like we're not going this way. Nothing important to pick up. And on we go. And here we go, back into the combat. As you can see on the right hand side of the screen, when a gem does start getting close to leveling up, a little experience bar will appear so that you can actually see that it is close to leveling up, so you don't forget. And there we go, That's actually the level up for the gem. As you've seen, there was a little green glow that happened around the character that indicates the level up. Which way? This is probably indeed a dead end, so onward we go. And another dead end. Okay, hopefully we should be close to the next section, because we are nearing water, and hopefully we should find the beached ship that we are looking for. Okay. Yeah, fortunately, the zombies at this level don't particularly hit that hard, so gathering up a little group of them is not that dangerous. And we get the point. Alright, so anything in the chest? Scroll of Wisdom. And nothing else that useful. Okay. Another chest. As I said, there's a microtransaction store in the game. It's not a buy to play, or buy to win, sorry. It's cosmetics. We'll talk about that more later. A little dead end, but let's kill these guys off. But if you don't like the looks of your armor, you can go into the microtransaction and buy some nice upgrades and such. But okay, and that is us now to the next area, and that will be us for the first part of the Let's Play Path of Exile, and hopefully you can join us in the second part where we continue on with our review of this game. Thank you very much, and see you the next time.